Have you ever watched someone stay completely calm while everything around them was falling apart? No raised voice, no panic, no regret, just stillness. And you thought to yourself, how do they do that? What you witnessed in that moment wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It wasn't even experience. It was something far more powerful, something most people never develop. It was self-control. And today I want to tell you a story about a boy who had everything to lose, and a woman who taught him the one skill that would change his entire life. In a small town, surrounded by green fields and quiet roads, there lived a young boy named Aryan. Aryan was smart. Aryan was fast. Aryan was full of energy. But Aryan had one problem. He couldn't wait. If he wanted something, he wanted it now. If someone upset him, he reacted immediately. If things didn't go his way, he gave up instantly. His teachers would say, "Aryan, you have so much potential." But potential without patience is like a fire without direction. It doesn't build anything. It only burns. One afternoon, after failing an important exam for the second time, Aryan threw his books across the room, stormed out of the house, and sat under a large tree at the edge of the field. He was angry, frustrated, lost. And that's where he met her. An old woman was already sitting there, eyes closed, completely still. Aryan sat down loudly, sighing heavily, making sure the world knew he was upset. But the old woman didn't react. She just sat there. Minutes passed. Finally, Aryan couldn't take the silence. "Don't you have anything better to do?" he snapped. The old woman slowly opened her eyes and smiled. "I'm doing the most important thing in the world right now," she said quietly. Aryan looked around at the empty field. "You're just sitting here. You're doing nothing." She shook her head gently. "I'm practicing the hardest skill a human being can learn." "And what's that?" Aryan asked, his irritation slowly turning into curiosity. She looked at him with calm, knowing eyes. "Control." Aryan laughed a little. "Control? You mean like not eating dessert? Or waking up early?" The old woman shook her head. "That's discipline. Self-control goes deeper than that." She picked up a small stone and held it in her palm. "This stone doesn't move on its own. The wind doesn't shake it. The rain doesn't scare it. It simply is. Self-control is not about being cold. It's not about suppressing who you are. It's about choosing, consciously choosing, how you respond to the world." She looked at Aryan. "You failed your exam today." Aryan blinked. "How did you know?" "Because you came here angry," she smiled. "And when people are angry, they run away from where they came from. You have two choices right now. You can stay angry and let this moment control you, or you can control this moment." Aryan stayed quiet for a while. And then, almost to himself, he whispered, "But it's not fair. I studied. I tried. And I still failed." The old woman nodded. "Life will not always be fair. People will disappoint you. Situations will go wrong. Results will not match your efforts sometimes. The question is never what happened to me. The question is always, what will I do next?" She turned to face him fully. "The most powerful war you will ever fight is not out there." She placed her hand on her chest. "It's in here. Every single day there is a battle inside you, between the version of you that reacts and the version of you that responds, between the you that gives up and the you that gets up, between impulse and intention. Self-control is choosing every single time to let your wiser self win." Over the next several days, Aryan kept coming back to that tree, and the old woman kept teaching. One morning she drew 3 lines in the dirt with a stick. Self-control has 3 roots, like a tree. If even one root is weak, the tree will fall. Root 1. Awareness. You cannot control what you cannot see. Most people react before they even realize they are reacting. The first step to self-control is noticing. Noticing what triggers you. Noticing how your body feels. Noticing the thoughts rising inside you before they take over. When you threw your books yesterday, did you notice the moment before you threw them? Aryan thought. No, it just happened. That's where the work begins. In that 1 second before it just happens. Route 2. The pause. Once you become aware, you create a pause. A gap between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the darkest chapters of human history, once said, "In that space between what happens to us and how we respond, that is where our freedom lives. That pause is where self-control lives. It lasts only a second or two. But it is everything." In that pause, you ask yourself, what do I actually want right now? What response will serve me and not just satisfy this moment? Route 3. Redirection. Awareness sees the wave. The pause stops you from drowning in it. And redirection is where you swim, consciously, in a direction you... Have you ever watched someone stay completely calm while everything around them was falling apart? No raised voice, no panic, no regret, just stillness. And you thought to yourself, how do they do that? What you witnessed in that moment wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It wasn't even experience. It was something far more powerful, something most people never develop. It was self-control.